for the Rolling Thunder, and he also has Aftershock. Holding the tree is the most important position, but Sentinels are looking to fight right back. There's the Aftershock. There's a swing out from Tens, but gets denied. And now the tap on that spike. Tui's dropping one. It's a 2 versus 2. Right inside, trying to stick it. Another one to fall. It's all up to Zek, who does get the kill. Trying to stick the spike. And it gets to the fuse with the Red Bull clutch. And Sentinels are going to be America's kickoff champions.
Yes, Sentinels are your regional champions for the first time in a very long time, and they did it by beating Loud here on Lotus 13-4 in map 5 of their series, and there's two kind of conflicting theories as to why this happened. One says that Sentinels are just very good at Lotus, and therefore just were able to beat Loud. The other is saying that Loud's team comp is kind of trolling and doesn't work for the map whatsoever. Now, I tend to favor the latter of those two options for a couple reasons. One is that Sentinels won 8 1v1s or 1v2s on this map, which is more than the other 3 previous maps combined for both teams. That's how crazy that is. So out of 13 rounds won, 8 of them were 1v1s or 1v2s. The second reason, though, is that Loud's comp is trolling on Lotus. To understand why, let's go back to when Loud played a similar comp the first time they ever played it in their game versus Sentinels on the defensive side to see what this comp can do. And the first thing that this comp is very, very good at is being able to bombard you with utility, which is particularly good for retakes.
Celsius looking to see if there's going to be any kind of pop flash play through the smoke. I think that's extremely likely. I mean, they still have so much
paranoia, nades, it's all being combined! And Loud got everything to deal with this one. Smoke in their face as well. Celsius is completely isolated away, damage being done. JohnQ knocked down to absolutely almost anything. They're just spamming away into the smoke. Maybe Celsius can get lucky. Bit of RNG, maybe with a clacky. He's dodging all these bullets well enough, but still only good for the one. It's traded out wide. Turret dealing with it, sticking it. 2 years, there's only 2 bullets left, and it's not gonna be enough.
But that doesn't quite work the same as it is on Lotus for a couple of reasons, and let's use a couple examples here to prove it, right? So, for instance, this is going to be a fast B take by Sentinels. They're just going to blitz into the B site, and actually, Loud managed to get the first 2 kills, but let's talk about the first difference with retakes, particularly on this B site. So, Loud, you see here, they actually managed to kill Tens there. They're actually going to find another kill on Zekken here, just right there. The first difference is where you actually come from, right? Because when you're doing a B retake on this map, you're going to come, you know, like we are here, right? We might have 2 people in this way, and we've got, you know, maybe 2 people coming from this way, and we've got 1 person coming from this way, right? Or some kind of combination of, you know, multiple people coming from multiple different angles. You're not going to be all grouped up together. Whereas if we take a look at that Ascent retake we just saw, look at where everyone from Loud is, right? We are literally all grouped up together. We can move as like one big swarm of ants and just, you know, bombard all of our utility, and the timings are very easy to see because you're all throwing utility next to each other, right? Whereas for the Lotus retake, that's not happening. And so you're less likely to have those big util combos because you're going to get more of these kind of individual little skirmishes between different groups on the map. And there's another big difference as well on Lotus, which is just the space, right? On this one, it's not so bad for Loud because Sentinels just came and did a straight B exec, but if they did a B split instead, then you have to worry about, you know, some of these bigger spaces and having to clear that out as well, and you're having to use some of your util here, meaning that it's not used again for actually doing the retake. Now in this example, Sentinels do a good job of continuing to fight forward even afterwards, right? And the nade actually gets a kill there, and Sassy continues to fight forward and evens up the numbers back into a 3v3. And from this point, they get the Viper's Pit down, and again, Sentinels, of course, are able to win a clutch.
Forcing Sentinels to push forward. But it's traded back and forth. Sentinels back on the board. Tui's answering right back. Pit is down. Counter Pit coming on the defenders. Less at low HP though. JohnQ still at full with armor.
It's like Sherbert. Let's go. Oh, a shot outside. JohnQ finds one as he...
One-on-one though. Les has that snake bite. JohnQ playing all the way on the outside, letting that pit down. Les doing the same, wall up, tap on the spike. JohnQ, the sprays on the first, it's halfway, a little bit of a tap, trying to stick it. It's going to release it now, gets the kill, tries to go back for the defuse. Will he get it? He will not.
Now, whilst for the B retakes on this map, as we kind of talked about, there's going to be a lot of small skirmishes around the map. That probably isn't true so much for a C retake, right? Which might look more like an Ascent A retake, right? Where we can just kind of group up and just bombard all of our utility on this kind of one area and just focus all our attention on that. So you might think that Loud C retake actually could still be pretty good, and whilst that was a possibility, for whatever reason, Loud just weren't that good at it.
To the back of spawn here, and it's right over the members of Loud.
Face your fear!
Here we go.
Nightfall, that's where they're trying to ping, where they wanted to initiate the Nightfall. Pain shells thrown by Zekin. Space has been gained. Prowler pushing back towards the waterfall. QCK still anchoring behind the pillar. After that plant, though, Showstopper available by Zekin. Beautiful flash. Does not allow for him to get space off the Showstopper. Does some damage onto QCK. Down to 5 HP. Boombot about to come out through the smoke. The paranoia countered by Loud from the back of the spawn. John Cutie gets a snake bite kill onto QCK as the Doc has to move in with the rest. But they're getting delayed by the utility of Sentinels on the post plan. A 5 versus 3. Make that a 4 versus 3 advantage for the Sentinels as well. As less than the rest cannot move forward for Loud. It's finally, it's Tens that gets picked off. 2 Nanoswarms onto the spike, delayed available for Zelsis.
And
There's the pop, and now they're moving forward, but finally they got rid of that util. It's at a halfway. The swing out 2A's with the second tap, and Saucy gets that pick.
So again, Sentinels win another clutch there, but let's take a look at this round and at this retake then, because again, Loud, you would think, okay, they get fade ulted, but, you know, they're in a decent position here. There's already 3 players over towards C, and Sentinels don't take a ton of the site either, right? So even though the spike is going down here, you might think, oh, they still can have a good retake. The problem, though, is, again, that with this comp on this map, look at the util we actually have for this retake when the spike is going down. We've only got 1 Sky Flash. Okay, we got a Paranoia, we've got 2 Breach Flashes, you know, and we got a Phoenix Wall. It's not the most, right, that you could potentially have, and it wasn't as much as maybe they did have on some of those other maps. And this causes a bit of a problem for them again, and really a massive problem is caused when Cowan Zine here, he's actually going to run out, and he's the one with kind of, you know, the most util here. He runs out and dies to Tens first, right? So then they're in kind of a big problem that they don't have enough util really for kind of the rest of this retake, and they do find a way to kind of claw their way back into it, right? As they so often did in this map in general. They did find, you know, a decent way of getting somewhat back into it, even in a 3v5, but then again, of course, Sentinels win another clutch, as you saw at the end of the round. But from this point on, you know, for the most part, it is just gunplay, right? Sadak just wins a fight against John QT there, you know? Let's just wins a fight against Tens. There's no util behind this, they just happen to be winning fights. So the first reason this comp didn't work is because it didn't have very good retakes. But the second reason, again, why it's not as good as perhaps it was on Ascent, is because on Ascent, again, you can kind of pick different timings to take some potential aggressive team fights.
So I think the more cautious approach is generally going to be better for Sentinels. Here, the recon darts got broken, so Sen should expect someone to be playing close mid.
No way. No way. It's a refight out. They're trying to play it through into Cat. Not getting punished. Still, they hold their ground. Spike dropped down onto Cat. They weren't expecting it, but that's the power of this comp. You have so many flashes.
But again, going for those unexpected big team fights on Lotus doesn't quite work as well as it does on Ascent for a couple of reasons. One, again, is that some of these areas like out in C, or if you try and push out B, you know, you're going to have to deal with people in spawn. You know, these areas are pretty big, and so hitting everyone with your util probably isn't going to happen. There's probably going to be people there that don't get hit by your util, which obviously is a bit of a problem. The other problem is there is no, like, place, as we just saw from on mid on Ascent, right, that you can converge. You know, you're going to need different people on different sides of the map, so you're not going to have the whole team there fighting together in one space necessarily. And then also, again, as we'll see from this first pistol round, Lau's execution just sometimes wasn't that good.
You get a bit of not mound control, but rubble control on that left side with a guiding light to start. No big commitment just yet for Loud. They do peek them.
Oh! But Toys is still there, the third player door opening as well.
And I know what some of you are thinking. Hold on, TMV. Team fights happen all the time on Lotus out towards A at the start of the round. Like, what are you talking about? This happens all the time in all these games. But again, it's about being unexpected, right? Everyone expects this team fight out towards A. So both teams use a lot of util when those things happen, right? Whereas in the clip we saw on Ascent, it was just Loud bombarding Sentinels with utility and Sentinels just trying to survive. But then really, and this was the crux of a major problem for Loud in general, is that even when they did go for these team fights on A, they still couldn't win them because Tens and Zekken were getting ahead of some of their util and they weren't destroying Sentinel's utility.
Unless they get nailed by that fault line.
It's already coming out. TP went forward though. Look at Tens. Double TP on both ends.
They can't
But it's
stop it.
Sentinels winning that one. Low HP, door being opened. Sadak forced to fall back. Flash to try to get information. The Prowler falling up behind it. Second for 3 in a round.
And let's just be honest here. With Loud's comp, if you can't win that fight on A on Lotus, you have literally no chance of winning this map. And the final problem for Loud is, of course, that they're playing no Sentinel, which, again, on this map, just creates big problems because there's so many different opportunities for lurking on this map, right? There's so many different possibilities. And in fact, in this game, we saw lurks that you probably aren't used to seeing at all that paid off big for Sentinels.
The money thin here, and they go again for Rubble play.
Keep doing it, why not? But this time we're answering back for Loud. Lots of utility to try to clear back towards Rubble. Tui's moving forward. That's the share. It's going to work now for Loud. Answering back is Sasi. But they pull back from it, dropping a spike in the process. It comes down to the man right here, the hype man, that made it behind enemy lines and is trying to catch the rotate.
They refine the hit. We said it wouldn't be impossible,
The
but it was
Seekers,
going to be hard.
too late. The pick from Zelsis, opening it up towards the A site so they can pick towards the Rubble. But the backside's about to come forward from Les. But he lost Kalanzine in the process to jump for it. Backstab there onto Zelsis. Spike Elise is picked up by John Cutie with the pit available. Viper on Viper, both pits also available. Comes down to who has the better read, the better positioning. It's John Cutie!
And it's not very often that you see someone lurk all the way up through B straight away to then come back all the way here and get multiple kills. But then it happens to them again.
Tough for them. It is tough for sure. They're able to come back, Sentinels, even though they planted on that platform, and get the round. Oof.
Contact play. Zekin is on fire. Superstar now for Sentinels. Continues to lead the charge on all of these hits of the attack. Although on the other side, we did see the push from QCK out towards the A main, evening up the tally. Weapon upgraded at this point, or looking to get upgraded. As Sentinels goes for the plant, but there's that backstab. Wow. John Cutie with the plant gets the pit. That's going to make it difficult now for Loud to retake. Second. He's farming.
Cannot be... Sorry. All right. Very cool. Moving in now, Les, QCK to do what they can here. HP going to be going way down.
Oh, and short and close, swings across. John Cutie's alone. One-on-one tap on a spike. John Cutie just staying outside of it. Gambling! That he's not gonna stick it. Just got spotted down to 11 HP. Blazewall now up, another tap. John Cutie forced to run in. But now there's not enough time. QCK with another tap.
Got it.
John Cutie with the rest of the patience that Sentinels had. They finished the half at 10-2.